Welcome, America, to Dow's Weekly Digest. See ya, 2020. It's out the door. You know what? We turned 21. We turned 21. Do you remember when you turned 21? And there were what? Shouldas and couldas and wouldas. All those resolutions have passed. Well, here's an axiom for you as you turn 21. Price only matters or comes to the forefront with the absence of value. So keep that axiom in mind today, will you? Think of a tool. Now this tool, I bet you use it every day. Now I could get it on eBay for, I checked, $40. Or I could get it on Amazon for $1,000. The $40 item, that tool, here's a little facsimile of it. I could get a phone that would actually be working. All I'd have to do is plug it in and it'd work. And it'd be working just like maybe you grew up using one just like this. $40. And in fact, one place where we lived in Nebraska, we were on a party line. I don't know if you were ever on a party line, but we were 2 rings and a pause and then a 3rd ring. That was our signal that that call was for us. It didn't matter. After the first ring, everybody picked it up. And then you would say, actually on the phone, "This is Dow, it's for me." And then you hear click, 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 all the different clicks. Party line meant that. The whole party could actually listen if they wanted to. $40 today. Here I have like a Samsung Galaxy. Newest one, over $1,000, folks. Over $1,000. Our first home was $3,000. This 3 of these would be equal to our home 50 plus years ago. What's the added value? Of course, it could make a call. It sure could. But besides that, it's got all fancy camera stuff now. And I could actually watch a movie on here if I wanted to. I could do texts. I could even cash a check by using this tool right here. So I think you can see what I'm trying to get across is the added value in my little example. $40, very functional, or $1,000. Price only comes to the forefront in the absence of value. The absence of value. And just think of the ads on this for $1,000. They won't talk about talking on the phone. They'll talk about everything else of that added value, but they won't talk about talking on the phone. They'll talk about the other items of the added value. So as you turn 21, keep that axiom in mind. But first, hey, let's look at some cowboy wisdom. An Ole Timer is a man who's had a lot of experiences. Some of them true. Some of them true. Yeah, sometimes our memory, we can embellish as we speak of our experiences. And I'm speaking as, yes, an Ole Timer. An Ole Timer. Moving on to South Dakota trivia. Did you know that one of our governors here in the state of South Dakota hosted Saturday Night Live on NBC? It was around, I think, 1978, and it was Governor Dick Knipe. And he gave John Belushi a Black Hills Gold ring during that episode there. You know, Governor Knipe had 8 sons, and one of his sons I worked with for 3 years. I worked with Kevin in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for 3 years. And then after that, then Kevin became a manager in Fargo, North Dakota, where I was a manager. So I got to know the Knipes. Now, a little rest of the story, they had a contest that anyone could host Saturday Night Live. That was kind of the contest. And our governor then not only was a finalist, then he appeared on Saturday Night Live as the host. So that's a little Paul Harvey rest of the story. South Dakota trivia. So what's the Bible say about this axiom theme? Well, let's go to the Old Testament. I want to start in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 4, verses 3 and 4. They go like this. Break up your unplowed ground, and do not sow among the thorns. And we also look in the Old Testament at Hosea chapter 10, verse 12. Break up your unplowed ground, for it is time to seek the Lord. Break up your unplowed ground. Kind of a theme there maybe for us folks, huh? Perhaps we can look at our own unplowed ground and say, I think I want to maybe look in that part of the market, but it's when I'm going to get around to it. I just don't seem to have the priority or the time or whatever reasoning you may have, but you just haven't got around to it yet. After all, you're 21 now. Look what I have for you, folks. Look what I have for you. Now, can you read the word there? Kind of a TUIT. You get that? What's the shape of this? It is, you got it, it is a round TUIT. So as you turn 21, we have the opportunity to get your own, very own round TUIT. And who would you contact to get this round TUIT? You got it. It doesn't change. Your internal wholesaler. Contact them and say, hey, I know I turned 21. We turned 21. I need a round TUIT. And we'll get one of those for you so you can look at your unplowed ground. Financial Markets has a tool for you to look at your fallow ground, to look at your unplowed ground. When I say the ground, let's look maybe at a piece of ground and call it life insurance. I'd like to share with you some information, some stats that I got from LIMRA. 3 months ago I got these stats. Let me share it with you. On January of 2020, they report that 36% of Americans had no life insurance at all. In May of 2020, 53% of Americans experienced a heightened need for life insurance. And they were doing searches for life insurance, besides making personal contacts. Now, those that didn't have any insurance at all, the top 3 reasons or logic that they used for not having life insurance was as follows. Their financial priorities, it didn't make the top of the list. It just hadn't reached it yet. Also, it was too expensive. I can't afford it. And then finally, hey, I just don't need it. And those 3 kind of follow the thread that has been such for years of no time, no need, no money. Yes, that unplowed ground, that fallow ground is there, folks. In one premier carrier that we have here at Financial Markets that has some valuable tools to help you reap the harvest. That company, folks, is Principal. And I want to today focus on the business insurance need. So now I've gone into our website. I'm going to go to, at the top, you'll see welcome and news. I want to click onto, and I'm going to click onto Agent Tools. Now from products, our premier carrier is Principal. So I'm going to go on down a little bit, and in the box that's enclosed Premier Carriers, I'm now going to click on to Principal. Scroll down a little bit, and you're going to see News. And from News, it is up to date. And as I see there, I see a new flyer available. So as I want to look at that flyer, I can click on to read more. And when I do, folks, there it is. There's more information for me to look at that. And if I wanted to order some of those or get some, then I could contact who? Look on that right-hand side again, and there's your dedicated team. I'd be contacting my internal wholesaler. So keep in mind as a habit, as I look at a particular carrier, always look at the news and see if there's something new there that maybe could fit to help me with this unplowed ground. So, as I said, I'm in principle. I've looked at the news. Now let's go and click on to term life. And when I do, then it opens up and I see the heading Sales Tool. Now, those items there, that's what we're going to focus on today. Go all the way down to the bottom and it says Producer Use Only. And if you look at it, it's entitled Prospecting Microsite. Prospecting, that's what I want to do. I want to look at this unplowed ground. Now I am actually in Principles Microsite. So let's scroll down now and let's look at these 3 points that they want to get across to us on prospecting. What do I see there? It says for us to consider these 3 strategies in our prospecting. First one, educate the client. Don't assume sometimes the terminology we use or other things that they understand that. Get feedback from them. Educate the client. It's a good point to remember there. 2, capitalize on life moments. Many times you're going to see a questionnaire and it's going to say, when did these life events happen? That's what it says. Capitalize on those life events. Ask them about it. So we have educate, we have life events to capitalize on, and finally in the prospecting it says, keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Lead with protection, not life insurance. Lead with what life insurance does, folks. Who it protects, not what life insurance is. So don't get caught up in the terminology and things like this. I think 3 good points to keep in mind. And that's, now I'm looking at the Principal microsite. So we're going to go to the top and we're going to click on to Marketing Campaign. And we're going to look a little bit further and see what they have available to us there. Now that I'm in Marketing Campaign and it brings up different tools, my goodness, folks, you could scroll down and scroll down and scroll down some more and look at all the tools that are available. But let's go back to the top now. And one that I'm going to look at here is entitled Business Valuation Buy Sell Review. As you look at that from the prospecting point to the education point to the contact to actually asking for the action, it's got tools for you as you see as you scroll down at each one of those steps. So if you had interest in this campaign, maybe looking at business valuations, buy-sell reviews, folks, there aren't very many carriers out there that will do valuations to help you with the concept of buy-sell. It's explained right here. So these marketing campaign tools, folks, do a little deeper dive from an e-campaign. Maybe you're using LinkedIn. Maybe you're using Facebook. You've got the tools right here. Maybe you partake in a radio ad. We've got the tools there. 360, we've got it all. Whether you're plowing hard ground, soft ground, sandy ground, we've got the marketing campaign tools here to turn over that fallow ground. So I've just touched lightly on one area here and just one of our carriers. While you're here, folks, on the website, please look at the other headings and some of the particular agent tools and explore more and more all the different options you have available and tools that you have available to you there. This upgraded financial markets website is one of the best. You're going to find out the more and more that you use it. Another area, and I won't go into that, but I just want to mention it to you. Let me share with you a power phrase. And it goes like this. Life insurance can grow and adapt as you move through the journey of life. What stage are you at? What stage are you at? Now, I've got to experience this, Old Timer, but folks, I didn't make that up. I got that. I got that from social campaigns that Principal has on this array of power phrases. Whether the power phrase maybe be used on LinkedIn, Facebook, or different, maybe through a drip email. It's got maybe a flyer that would go along with this. But they have got, I want to use the word oodles. It's got oodles and oodles of these social campaigns that have been developed for you. I'm just looking at the tip of the iceberg on the tools that Principal has available to you. And one of the reasons, folks, that premier carrier that we have in our portfolio includes Principal Life Insurance Company. One suggestion I may have is contact your internal wholesaler, and together maybe you could set up a Zoom meeting where then they're able to share their screen, and then you could do a further walk and explore these different areas that I'm speaking of here. And at the end, if there is an actual campaign that you want to partake in, let them know, and then they can start to get it customized for you. Next, I have for you a video, and it's put out by Principal, and I think it's going to explore why, with your knowledge and your experience, why you need to plow that fallowed ground.
Look at that.
Who is that?
Paul.
Who is it? That's Aaron.
Aaron.
And who's that?
Daddy.
That's Daddy. When I got the call on that Wednesday morning, my life just stopped. Jay had suffered a massive heart attack. In that moment, my life had collapsed. You know, my best friend, my husband, my son's father was just gone. We were just getting into parenthood and we were figuring it out. Then everything fell apart. Oh, Jay was an amazing man. He was someone that you wanted to get to know. He would walk into a room and not know anybody, and he'd walk out with one or two really good friends. He was going to be a really good dad. On May 9th, 2012 is when I thought my life was exactly what I wanted it to be, and it was. At noon, I got the call that changed everything. Jay had fallen and died of a massive heart attack. You don't realize everything you take on when the person who you vowed to spend the rest of your life with is gone. I am so grateful for him for taking care of us, even in his death. He had life insurance, and not just one policy. What he did as a planner was made sure without a doubt that should he not be here, that we were taken care of. No amount of money will bring anybody back. It makes it a little bit easier to not have what they gave to your life. You know, it makes it a little bit easier to not have them there. You know, money is money. Money will help, and has and will continue to help in your absence, but money doesn't hug you in the morning or give you a kiss. No, or calm a 3-year-old. You know, it can buy him a toy. You know, it doesn't replace him, but it allows us to continue the life that I think he would have wanted us to live. Gosh, I would give anything. I would give anything to have one more minute with him, one more second. I'd give it all back. Because Jay thought beyond what a 30-year-old usually has to worry about, I don't have the financial burdens I would have had. I initially looked at life insurance as death money, and I think a lot of people do that. But it's not. It's the money that your loved one is making sure you have in their absence. I didn't think life insurance was necessary before he passed away. Now, I know these things are essential. They help the people who are left behind. And while that is hard to think about, it is also comforting because it's made him being gone more bearable.
Did you catch the planning that she talked about and how she used kind of the words, he took care of us by planning, Help them plan. Remember this, folks. God's plan for you is great. It's great. And it includes that unplowed ground. So keep that in mind, folks, when you have turned 21. And blessed are those who ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called insurance agents. Take care.